The three-tier pension system in Ghana came to replace the old system where all we knew was SNIT. So with this one, we have three baskets. We have SNIT, which is the tier 1. We have the tier 2, which is managed by trustees, including corporate trustees, and the same for the tier 3. So with the tier 1, initially SNIT used to pay a lump sum and a monthly pension, but there were some labor agitations that people retire and they go home with so little. So we decided that we would change the system. So now SNIT pays only monthly pensions. So whereas in the past they used to pay lump sum and monthly pension, so when you go on retirement they'll give you 25% of your benefits as a lump sum payment and the rest of the 75 paid over a period. Now they pay only monthly benefits. Initially we used to contribute 17.5%. Now it's reduced to 13.5% because they are no longer catering for that lump sum anymore. And SNIT is a defined benefit. That's why a lot of the time when people are complaining about SNIT is not using the money well, they are like, this is not an issue, because a defined benefit means your benefits are defined. If I should know how many years you are contributing to SNIT, the average of your best 3 years salary when you are retiring, that's if you're taking an early retirement or you are retiring at 60, I should be able to tell you that this is the benefits that you will be taking. Initially SNIT didn't have like an insurable salary. You could insure your salary no matter how high it was, but I believe that it's also because of sustainability, because people were working the system, they wouldn't contribute much, and then when they are going on retirement then they start putting in more effort, so they decided to cap it. I think last year was 42,000, this year I know it's 54 or something thousand. So if you earn beyond that amount, you cannot contribute to SNIT on the additional amount, you have to pay it into your tier 2. Then we have the tier 2. So the tier 2 is going to take care of your lump sum. It's basically 5% of your basic salary that is remitted to trustee on a monthly basis. For some big companies, they have their own pension funds, and so they would have their own board of trustees. But for most companies, we have what we call corporate trustees. There are more than 20 of them, so you have to choose which one you want to go with. Not you, I mean the employer will have to choose, and the employer will remit to them 5% on a monthly basis. Now this is a defined contribution, so what they do with the money matters more, because your benefits are based on the contributions plus the investment gains or losses. So if you should take your statement now, it means that if you were supposed to retire today, that balance is what will form your lump sum. That's basically what that means. Now with the tier 2, even though we have what we call corporate trustees, we also have other players. We have the fund managers. They are supposed to give investment advice as to where the trustees should place the money. We also have pension fund custodians. They hold the assets of the scheme in custody, keep it sort of safe, so they settle payments. So all these people are to ensure that your pension funds are well managed. Now with both SNIT and tier 2, you can't take it unless you are retiring, and retirement in Ghana is 60 years, but you can take an early retirement at 55 years. If for some reason you have achieved financial independence at age 40 and you want your SNIT, you can't have access to it. If you have achieved it at 50, you can't have access to it. You have to hit 55 goal, then you can have access to it. For tier 2, if you are 50 years and you are unemployed and you go to the labor department and you are able to prove that indeed you are unemployed, you can have access to your tier 2. For all these schemes, if you are medically incapacitated and it's proven, you are also able to have access to your pensions. I remember a while back they said their youngest retiree was 27 years. So these are some of the benefits that sometimes they don't highlight. But if anything should happen to you and the last 36 months before the thing happened to you, you've contributed for 12 months within the 36 months, even though you are 27, you earn pensions till you die. So these are some of the benefits that they don't highlight. Back to the tier 2. Tier 2 will pay you a lump sum, and as I said, it's your contributions plus your gains or losses. Then we have the tier 3. So tier 1 and tier 2 are mandatory. Your employer is supposed to do it for you. The truth is that a lot of employers are doing the tier 1, especially through the SMEs. companies, small companies are doing the tier 1 for SNIT because SNIT is quite aggressive with prosecuting for employers. So they try to do that one so that they won't have trouble, but they are not doing the tier 2. So if you work with a small business, even some of the big businesses that are not so compliant are not doing. So it's very possible you will retire with, monthly pensions and no lump sum. So please check with whoever is in charge whether it's being done for you. So these are mandatory. Then we have the voluntary, which is the game changer, because when you look at the tier 1 and tier 2, you see that you are paying 18.5%. Initially, you were paying 17.5%. There isn't really much of a difference. Lump sum and the monthly pensions, not much of a difference. But tier 3 is a game changer. Here, you can contribute up to 16.5% of your basic salary pre-tax. So you're able to save up on taxes. With this one, your employer will choose corporate trustee of your choice for you to contribute this to. Even though it's 16.5, you can do 5%, you can do 10%, you can do 16.5, you can even do 20. But anything beyond 16.5%, you pay taxes on the difference between the 16.5% and whatever percentage you are doing. Under the tier 3, we have provident funds and personal pension. Provident funds are employer facilitated. Normally, the employer would say that, I like you so much, I want to do something for you, I'll pay maybe 5%, you bring 10% or bring 11.5%, we'll contribute it on a monthly basis, and based on this we'll set what we call vesting rules as to when you can withdraw. If you are dismissed, you get nothing, like the rules as to how the fund operates when you can withdraw and all that. There are cases where it's just the employer doing it, very rare, and there are cases where it's just the employee doing it. So all that is available. Now with the provident fund or the tier 3, you can use it as a collateral for a loan, and you can also use it to apply for your primary mortgage. Then we have the personal pension. So for those who don't have that arrangement at work and you still want to take advantage of the tier 3, you can do the personal pension, but it becomes advantageous if your accountant decides to deduct it before your taxes are slapped onto the rest of your salary. A lot of the time they are unwilling, but if they are, then you can also take advantage of the tax benefits. Now that would also give you a lump sum at retirement. With the tier 3, because it's voluntary, you can withdraw before retirement, but I normally encourage people to keep it invested, and because from my experience working in the pensions industry, it's really a game changer. And even if you want to withdraw from tier 3, keep it invested in something that is towards your retirement. So it should still be an investment that's still towards your retirement. Maybe you don't like the scheme that is in, but you can convert it into something that you are working on towards your retirement, rather than using it to buy a car or a house and not replacing it. Because if you are like the average Ghanaian, it may come back to bite you. So that's the summary of the 3-tier pensions.